There's going to be a few things on this one. Mr. Daniel just recently lost his employment, so this may be one that we can get him into the NCP Choices program if he does in fact live in Bell County. Number two, this is a case where there's an active CPS case happening right now. There's an incident that happened back in July where the CPS have now been involved. There will also be testimony from Miss Lee that from the month of June through July, whenever she got the child back, that Mr. Daniel was withholding the child for that time frame from her. So for those three reasons, really, it would be the state's request to go ahead and appoint an attorney ad litem to also help facilitate Mr. Daniel seeking employment and kind of verifying that.
Okay, let's get some testimony. Let's find out what's been going on here. So, Ms. Lee and Mr. Daniel, both please raise your right hands and unmute yourselves. Do both of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give your days the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
I do.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and let the state call you both as individual witnesses, and I'll get an update and get some information. And right now, I'm assuming that there's not a court action pending on this, and otherwise, the CPS would have filed a motion to consolidate. Well, maybe they would. We'll see. Anyway, I'll let the state call you as witnesses and let's find out what's going on. And so at this time, Mr. Morgan, you can call your first witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. State call Shanice Lee. Miss Lee, what is your name for the record? And you're going to need to unmute yourself, ma'am.
Shanice Lee.
And your relationship to the child in this case?
Mother.
And the name of the child?
Amelie Lee.
And how old is Amelie?
4.
What are the circumstances of the last visitation between her and Mr. Daniel?
She came home and reported that she was whooped or hit on. She was punched on. She said that she was touched inappropriately. She doesn't want to go back over there. So we're dealing with that right now. I had to report that to KPD. They told me to talk to the people to get a protective order. The people that do the protective order told me to call CPS.
And when did that, what date was that?
That was around, well, she has my phone, July. We got reported around July 14th. I want to say July 12th.
And obviously she was in Mr. Daniel's custody at that time whenever this incident happened.
Right.
And how long had she been in Mr. Daniel's custody during that time?
30 days.
Was this part of the summer visit, or was this something where he was withholding the child from you?
This was summer visit. There wasn't no agreement to keep her 30 days consecutively. I mean, she don't know him, but 2 days on. But he just did what he wanted to do.
And so right now there's an active open CPS case?
Yes, sir.
And you have a caseworker for that?
Yes, her name is Miss Valdez. I don't know where her card is at. It's in her purse somewhere.
And where are y'all in the process? Are we under investigation? Do we have a court date?
So far, still into investigation, I think.
Has she been able to get in contact with Mr. Daniel, to your knowledge?
I have no idea. The last thing I understand is that she was looking for them, and and they weren't at the address that's on file for child support.
And when was the last time that you spoke to the caseworker?
I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago.
I believe that's all the questions I'm going to have. I'll go ahead and pass the witness, Judge.
All right, court will let everyone know. I'm looking at the taking judicial notice of the court file, and it appears there was the temporary order had a standard possession order attached to it. I don't see anything that states that there was any type of break-in visit. So this looks like the standard summer visitation was available. But again, since I did this order so late, that would be July 1 to July 31st, or July 30th. So again, just for the record. And I'll be back here in just a moment, ma'am. I'll let the state call the next witness, please. Thank you.
State calls Alexander Daniel. Mr. Daniel, what is your name for the record?
Alexander Daniel.
And your relationship to the child?
Her father.
And sir, when was the last visitation that you had with the child?
The last visitation I had was June 1 through June 30.
And was that your court-ordered summer visit, sir?
In the court order, it said that it could be June or July. I went to pick her up and I had confirmed with her which month that we were going to do, and she confirmed that we were doing June.
And in regards to the CPS case, sir, what is your statement to the court in regards to that?
Well, basically, I had ended up talking to my mom. She had got videos from Shanice and my grandmother. I never had got the videos. She never sent them to me or reached out to me about that. She reached out to my family first. Then my girlfriend ended up getting a call from CPS saying that they were wanting to talk to me, her, and all of her kids. So we ended up having the investigation go on. She came, interviewed all the kids that stayed with me, and she concluded that nothing that was alleged.
Sir, stop. You can't testify to something someone else said, including the caseworker. So only testify to what you did or what happened as far as you're concerned, sir. Thank you.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Don't testify to something else that someone else told you or even a writing that you received from CPS. It's not in evidence at this time. We're under the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure, sir, and you can't testify to something someone else said. That's called hearsay.
So what was the question that was asked to me then? How was I supposed to respond to it?
I'll let the state.
Just what your response was to the allegation.
Oh, it's false.
Okay. And sir, I just want to get some more clarity. You did testify to this, but you were saying the 30 days that you spent with your daughter, was that in the month of June or July?
It was in June.
Okay, thank you, sir. And so whenever this incident allegedly happened, you transferred the child to Miss Lee at the end of June.
I transferred her on the exactly 30 days as I was supposed to.
Okay. And at that point is whenever the CPS case opened, was after you sent the child back.
Correct.
Okay. Have you been in contact with the caseworker at all?
She called me about somewhere around the same time, about 2 weeks ago, and hasn't responded. After she left and said that she was done with the interview, she was like that it would be over in about 30 days.
And was the interview on the phone or was it in person? Was the interview on the phone or was it in person?
It was in person.
In person, okay. And so the caseworker came to your house. And do you know where in the process it is right now? It's still under investigation. There's no court dates or anything.
She said nothing about a court date. The last thing she said when we seen her in person is
Okay,
that.
sir, stop again. I'll let the state withdraw that question because obviously it calls for a hearsay answer.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So there's no court date right now, but it's still under investigation to your knowledge, Mr. Daniel. Is that correct?
Not that I know of.
That you don't know that it's still under investigation?
Called CPS yesterday and they said there's no case. So
okay. All right, that's all the questions I'm going to have of the witnesses. Well, no, I take that back, Judge. There are a few more questions. Mr. Daniel, do you live in Bell County?
Yes, sir.
And what's the status of your employment right now?
Unemployed.
And did you hear during the opening speeches this morning from NCP Choices about their program?
Yes.
All right, would you be interested in entering that program, sir?
Well, that's fine.
Okay. All right. In that case, sir, if you would, after the hearing, stick around and we're going to get you in a breakout room with them so that you can get into the program. Okay.
Okay.
Judge, that's all the questions I'm going to have from either witness right now. Just would ask for whatever appropriate rulings the court deems necessary.
All right, let's go ahead and point that litem on this one. Let's see what I'm going to do on this one. Let's go with Mr. Brimhall.
Okay.
I'm going to point Isaac Brimhall as the lawyer for the child to do a complete investigation and see where CPS stands and what those circumstances are. Obviously, he has the opportunity. This child's only what, 3 years old?
4.
4, okay. So he's gonna interview the child, but again, she's only 4. So that is what it is. I'm gonna put
And
this.
good. I was
I'm
gonna
put
ask
this
for
on-
that recent date.
I'm gonna put this one on a short lease. Melinda, do we have Mr. Brimhall on any of our upcoming Wednesday dates? Because obviously I'm gonna have a problem doing visitation until I get this investigation completed. So otherwise I don't think I got anything till October, and that may be problematic, but it is what it is.
I will say, Judge, there is always the San Saba docket on the 15th of September that we could potentially use for this one.
Hey, what's this weed stuff? You won't be here, then that'll be me.
Okay. I just see some openings on that day.
Okay, then. Well, I'm probably okay. Let me look at the 15th again. All right, I got the 9:30, I got 11, I got 11 o'clock already, I got a 12 o'clock already, I got a 2 o'clock already, and the 2 o'clock's at 4:30. So if I do it, I'm gonna have to do it on this San Saba docket at between 9:30 and, well, let's see, 9:30 and 11:30. So okay. All right, let's go ahead and use that date. All right, here's the deal. Until I get something clarification on the CPS investigation and the ad litem investigation, I'm going to suspend all visitation to a further order of the court. I'll reset this matter for that Friday at 9:30 a.m. And it'll say the San Saba docket, but this case is going to be on that. I'll give Mr. Brimhall at least 6 weeks to do 5 weeks to do an investigation on what's happening there. Again, folks, I will note that it was the temporary order looks like it did only have the standard visitation. Unfortunately, I think you folks misread the visitation package. It's July 1 to July 30th, and I just checked the court order. That's what it says. So obviously, yeah, that June date was out. But you know, it is what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and at this time sign the order allowing Mr. Daniel to go into the NCP Choices program. I'm gonna appoint Isaac Brimhall as a lawyer for the child. He will be in contact with both sets of parents and with any and all appropriate witnesses. And I'll have them let them call those witnesses for the reset date. And I'm gonna set it at 9:30 a.m. on the San Saba docket. But there'll be this case will be heard at that time. So the state, my assistant will get the court file. So I'm gonna actually change that to the Bell County / San Saba docket for Friday morning on the 9th, on September the 15th. So yeah, there it is.
And Mr. Daniel and Miss Lee, do either of y'all have any problems if I provide your contact information to the attorney ad litem so that they can get in contact with you?
No, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you both. And Mr. Daniel, make sure to stick around. We're gonna have the NCP Choices program talk to you.
All right. Is Ms. Lee free to go? I'm gonna go ahead and let the state. I'll prepare that new temporary order. I'll have that line complete the investigation. Keep in mind, he doesn't represent either of you. He represents the child, and he will present evidence he feels is appropriate for the child going forward as necessary. And I will make further temporary orders or do a final order in September based on his recommendations, and find out whether or not and make sure that CPS is no longer going to do any type of intervention and take y'all over to CPS court. So at this time, I'll go ahead and may Miss Lee be free to go, Ms. Morgan.
She may. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, but before y'all go, I'll ask Ms. Lee, any questions, ma'am?
Is there any way we can fix the app close app because it's not working on my end?
I'm sorry, ma'am. What do you mean it's not working on your end?
I haven't had any. It stopped working on the 12th of June. There wasn't any contact at all.
Reinstall it, ma'am, and but it's really not going to be necessary until we come back in September.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
Daniel, any questions, sir?
Nope.
All right, if anybody needs to get back in before that date, had that litem make a special setting, make a request for his client, the child. But for right now, you're both free to go, and I'll see you both on September 15th. We're off the record. Thank you.
And Ms. Pruitt, I just invited you into a breakout room with Mr. Alexander Daniel, who's going to be entering the NCP Choices program.